Today I'd like to introduce to you Jeff Gibson with Ball Horticulture. Jeff has over 30 years of experience as he has managed a range of Ball customer-focused sales and marketing activities. He's currently focusing on Ball's steady growing independent garden centers and landscape business segments. So I'd like to welcome Jeff and turn the program over to you. Morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Linda. Thank you again for the opportunity to present. I wish I was there in sunny Florida with all of you to present this in person, but these times require different methods. So we're happy to be here with Ball Horticultural Company. So I've got several what we think are particularly new and exciting varieties to showcase this year that are already out there in the trials, and Linda will bring that to us virtually as well. So we'll kick this off with a new item from Pan American Seed, which is our new foliage celosia Sol collection. The Sol collection we have two offerings: the green, the gecko green, and the lizard leaf. The difference being green being solidly green, the lizard leaf being a red, dark red colored celosia. Now these are selected specifically as foliage celosia. So this would it will flower. It'll have a small celosia flower very late in the summer, but its main use is as a foliar color. And you could actually think of this as an alternative to the downy mildew-prone coleus that oftentimes used in the landscape. So this is an interesting new development for Pan American Seed in the celosia program. Moving on from that, I'd like to talk a little bit more about what's arguably one of our top introductions that we've done over the last several decades, which is the Impatiens Beacon. Beacon Impatiens are a truly downy mildew resistant variety. This would amount to its second year of launch. Technically, it was launched this year for 2021 to be able to include the new Beacon Rose. So we have the 6 colors already, plus the rose and 2 mixes, a red and a white. And of course, the proof is in the pudding. So growers around the state of Florida have grown this product and have actually seen performance like this. This would be actually 2 or 3 or 4 years of trialing in Florida specifically. And as you can see, Beacon Coral is on the left compared to our Super Elfin White. And it's obvious the difference, and it's obvious that the Beacon is standing strong and living up to its name. There's some additional shots of it, and you can see in the various things. But a very, very big introduction for Pan American Seed this year. Moving on to another exciting program for us for 2020. The Wave Petunia is 25 years old, which is kind of a milestone in and of itself. With the announcement of that, we've added a brand new Easy Wave Lavender Sky Blue, which is particularly important. Those lavender sky blue colors are really, really important in the landscape, and the lavender sky blue certainly does well. The other really interesting point about this variety is that it will flower with only 9.5 hours of day length from a production perspective. So it's a variety that can easily be brought into flower even in the day lengths of early season Florida. The other one that's shown here on the slide is our Wave Carmen Velour. Normally, I would never talk about a tidal wave for the summer heat in Florida, because most petunias don't survive the heat in Florida, but this particular one did. Melissa Shepard over at Disney actually trialed this and made a comment about how long-standing the Wave Carmen Velour took the heat and kept on looking nice. Also in the Wave program this year, we have the new Easy Wave Fusion and the Shock Wave Purple Tie-Dye. Now, the Easy Wave Fusion also meets those criteria for short day requirements, meaning that the growers can get that into production easier and get it flowering at the time that consumers are eager to get out and start buying plants. And the Shockwave, which is the smallest flowered series within the Wave program, is really added to by bringing in the purple tie-dye color. Really exciting, great for baskets, hanging baskets, containers, and the like. So 2 new additions to the Wave program for 2021. Along with that, the importance, okay, I can't stress this enough, for growers in Florida, having petunias that will flower under shorter day length is critical. Our lavender sky blue, which I just mentioned, which is new, is our best example of that. And here's a little guide that you can look at afterwards that kind of gives you a sense for the rest of the other flowering times for the various Wave programs. So the last couple of years, we've familiarized you with our Lucky Star Penta program. These are compact growing pentas, great for the summer heat in Florida. They'll color it quickly. They can be grown in packs and pots and flats for summer color. Heavy use in your markets there. Along with that, we're excited to release our new Red Star Pentas Glitterati. And so what these are a whole series of pentas, can do everything that the pentas are known to do, but they contain a small eye, which when you see it in mass really stands out and makes a particularly attractive plant in both containers, pots, as well as in the garden. The next item up is a really interesting one for Florida as well. This is our new seed-produced Salvia lanceolate. It actually hails from the Canary Islands. Its species is Salvia canariensis. We thought this to be such an interesting new plant that we wanted to go ahead and introduce it. Kind of almost reminds you of maybe lavender somewhat, very aromatic and super, super tough. So it has this silvery white, sort of felted leaved feeling of the leaves with these bloom stalks that'll easily get 4 to 6 feet tall, and absolutely a water-wise plant and absolutely a great pollinator plant for attracting hummingbird bees and butterflies. So an interesting new salvia species from Pan American seed called Salvia lanceolate, full sun for that one. Moving on to another full sun item, our Vinca Tattoo series. We want to highlight this again. We have a new blueberry color, which allows us to have a new mix called American Pie, along with the other items that you've seen before, the black cherry, papaya, tangerine, raspberry, all of which have these unique eyes in them and actually make a really strong showing in containers and pots. This is one we definitely recommend for containers and pots. Full sun, full heat. The last item in the product roster here on the seed side is our Zesty Zam, which we introduced last year. Had some issues with getting the flowers perform properly last year in last year's trials. So we resubmitted those, and hopefully we're seeing the performance that we're used to here. Zinnias are always popular with gardeners and landscapers alike, and these are no exception to that. With particularly interesting 2 new purplish colors, the fuchsia and the purple, being some of the high performers in that. Turning our attention to some vegetative product, our Coleus Dragon Heart is a new addition to our full sun Coleus line. Has these deep magenta veins and the chartreuse edges, which is so popular. Will full sun and will definitely stand up to the heat and get large. To accompany that, we have an entire program that we introduced a few years back called the Flamethrower series. We've added 2 new colors in the Flamethrower series, Sriracha and the Cajun Spice. The whole Flamethrower series was bred to be slightly more compact than most of the full sun Coleuses that we have been sending out into the marketplace. You see the companion plants there, the chili pepper, the salsa verde is particularly good. The salsa roja is excellent, excellent red colored coleus in the program, and I'm very proud to bring that forward. To kind of go along with that, we've created a whole program of combinations that can be purchased by the grower, grown as a unit together, and we've uh, created a couple of flamethrower coleus mixes, or mix masters as we call them. Here's a couple of examples: whole enchilada and Pimasol. I talk about these a lot on the landscape side because they have some real interest in being able to be used. They would come to the grower or the landscaper and say a 6-inch pot, and you could plant out a mixed bed of coleus from a relatively few number of pots. So that's an interesting concept that the landscape trade might want to think about. Again, back to petunias for a second. These are vegetative form. These are our color rush petunias. These are particularly strong in heat and high heat and sun. The color rush white was the new one last year and won accolades the nation over for its ability and endurance and stick-to-itiveness in the light in the case of rain and humidity. So this is a particularly good series in that the color rush petunia with the various colors that we have there, the blues and the pinks and the white now. Turning our attention to something that is not in the trial because it typically is thought of as a cool season plant in market. Our brand new petunia bee's knees, and you can see why this is a showstopper, that bright yellow color, which doesn't typically fade in the sun. It really is a standout color for both baskets, pots, and containers, both in landscape and in the ground. Moving on to verbena. Our verbena Enduriscape continues to be one of the greatest plants for super hot days, and it can take both extremes, both cold and heat on the other end, with a wide range of colors that can complement the colors of petunias, only thinking of this as a plant that can be used in the summer season. So verbena Enduriscape. I want to bring one more attention to yet another series of petunias. This is called the Petunia Sky types. These are very popular right now. These would be for your cool season, probably in baskets, I would say, but they're real showstoppers as far as consumers are concerned. If you're looking to please a client with a real interesting new color, try or consider the new Sky type petunias from Selecta, one of the ball companies. Ball Ingenuity has an interesting new product for Florida in particular and other parts. Philodendron FNGLA, which has it's a non-vining, sort of dense clumping grower, bushier than most. It does best in cool sunlight or shade, as you would probably know that there in Florida. And the juvenile leaves on this plant come out fully fingered, unlike other varieties. So you can kind of get the sense the mature plant from an early onset. So we think this is going to be an exciting new product from Ball Ingenuity. So with that, I'll just wrap it up. You can contact either myself there, Jake Gibson at ballhort.com, or Ryan Walker, who is our salesperson there in Florida, at rwalker@ballseed.com. And we are so glad to be able to be part of the Florida Flower Trial. Thank you, Linda.
Thanks.